When this eerie rabbit beats the small drum in its hand, you should be on the alert. It's highly likely that a ghost has already entered the house. The rabbit can not only see the ghosts in the house, but also notify the owner by beating the drum. However, the consequences of using it are extremely serious. Not only will the user's nose bleed after each use, but they also need to cover their eyes for 15 hours and avoid any light exposure. The user's ears will also be unable to hear any sound. At this time, the user cannot be woken up either. Since Nick had to go on a long trip for business, he paid Jeff to come and keep his daughter company. To prevent Jeff from having any malicious intentions, Nick put a locked outfit on him and tied a chain several meters long behind his back. The length of the chain was just enough to reach the girl's bedroom door. After Nick left, Jeff suddenly needed to use the restroom. He happily went to the bathroom, but unexpectedly, the chain was too short to reach the toilet. Helpless, Jeff could only go to the door to take care of his business. Looking at the dog that was also chained up, Jeff looked at a photo with an embarrassed expression. Suddenly, the light behind him went out. The chain was tugged by something, and Jeff was so frightened that he didn't know what to do. He quickly went inside to check, but all he saw was Quihua covering her eyes against the wall, and he didn't find anything else unusual. However, when Jeff just lay down on the bed at night, something eerie happened again. Suddenly, something fell down behind Jeff. He turned around and saw that the hanging painting behind him had fallen to the ground. Looking closely, there was actually a pair of eerie eyes staring at him on the painting. Jeff was so scared that his heart started pounding, and he quickly turned the painting around. But as soon as he lay down, the painting actually turned around by itself, and the eyes became extremely fierce. Jeff quickly turned the painting around again, but not long after, the painting suddenly fell to the ground. He rushed forward to pick it up. At this time, Jeff vaguely heard some sounds coming from the painting, but he couldn't make out what was being said. To avoid being disturbed, Jeff had no choice but to go to the living room to sleep. But just then, the rabbit in front of him suddenly started beating the drum in a strange way. Jeff looked behind him and seemed to understand what the rabbit meant. So he followed the rabbit's guidance, carried the rabbit, and went to a basement. On the wooden door of the basement, a mysterious black hole caught his attention. Due to copyright restrictions, it can only be shown up to here. Thank you for watching.